Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us this afternoon for this webinar that's going to talk through the ECCCSA Awards and how to make a successful nomination. So it's good to see lots of familiar names on the register list, lots of organisations that have taken part in previous years, but also some new names as well. So the webinar is going to last about 20 minutes. And we will save some time at the end to take any questions. So just a little bit of housekeeping. If you do want to ask a question, you will see on your screen you've got a chat box. So if you just key in your question there, we've got somebody moderating that can pick up the questions. So they will try and answer as we go along. But if we think the question is going to be useful for everybody else, we'll save that and we'll pick that up at the end. As I said, we expect this to last about 20 minutes. The webinar is going to be hosted by myself, but also by Jackie. Jackie Pringle is head of the awards programmes, and she's going to join me shortly to talk through the entry process.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm looking forward to working with you all again on these awards this year.
Thank you, Jackie. And also to let you know that there will be a recording of the webinar. So if you don't manage to stay through to the end, or you just want to listen to it again, it'll be available on the website for you to listen to. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is we're going to give you just a high-level overview of the ECCCSAs. Importantly, we're going to go through the categories and share with you some of the new categories. And then we're going to be talking a bit more detail about the process for entering. We made it as simple as possible, but we just want to walk you through that. And then we're going to share some tips, some advice in terms of putting together a good entry. And then we'll walk through the judging process so that you know exactly what to expect. And we'll cover off the awards evening and what to expect there. And then we'll end just with some additional support and help that's available to you. So what are the ECCCSAs? What are they all about? We're calling it the greatest awards programme in the customer contact industry. Why would we do that? Why would we say they're the greatest? Well, they're in their 19th year. So they are the longest established awards programme in Europe. And they are also the largest, both in terms of entries and also the number of countries that take part, and the number of people that attend the gala dinner. So we think they're the greatest awards because of all those factors. So just looking back at last year, the ECCCSAs in 2018, so we had 19 countries that took part. You can see the list of countries that took part. People often ask us, is it really European or is it just UK? You can see there it's very much a European competition. We had last year over 300 entries from over 100 organisations. And it's worth pointing out at this stage that they're large and small. So, you know, we've had some quite small organisations that take part and indeed walk away with gold trophies, as well as the large brands that you're more familiar with. We have 28 categories this year, which I think is 2 up from last year. And as usual, we'll be shortlisting. The finalist list will be 8 organisations per category. Okay, and that picture might bring some memories back to some of you that took part last year. That's the awards evening in progress. So I'd just like to share with you kind of what's new for 2019. So every year, once the awards are finished, we go back to some previous winners and to the judging panel, and we do a whole review of the categories to make sure that they still represent the industry. So we carried out that review this year. We removed a couple of categories that were less popular, and we've introduced 5 new categories that we think, again, are a good representation of the industry. That's most effective digital customer experience. Everybody's very focused in our industry now on digital and making the move to digital customer experience. So we wanted to reflect that in the awards. Most effective management of peak demand. We've got a number of verticals that have talked to us about this category. So if you think of retailers that have very significant peaks, holiday companies, even utilities that are handling outages, and also outsourcers that are often taken on board in order to deal with an organisation's peaks. So we brought that new category on board to reflect that feedback. Best customer engagement initiative. That is to cover things like, I guess, when you might need to promote or educate your customers. So that might be that you want to encourage customers to move digital or online. How do you manage that engagement activity? Your organisation might be going through a period of change, and you want to, again, make sure you tell your customers what's going on and make sure that they're engaged still with your brand. You might want to educate your customers on a new service or product. So that one's looking at how did you engage your customers through that process. Giving something back, really, this is a category we've run before. It's just renamed to accurately reflect some of the nominations we receive. So giving something back might be local activities, local community activities, positive impact on the community. But clearly we're an industry that spends an awful lot of time focused on charities and raising amazing amounts of money for charities. And we certainly wanted to reflect that again in the awards programme. A brand new category is Best New Contact Centre. So certainly last year when we looked at the nominations that came through for Contact Centre of the Year, a lot of them we felt were too new. They'd only been up and running for a short period of time and weren't able to, I guess, prove that they were sustainable. So we've introduced Best New Contact Centre, and that's for contact centres that have been up and running for anything up to 18 months. So if that's you, that category may be of interest. And we're going to have a new theme at the awards evening. Last year it was Around the World in 80 Days, and as usual we'll save the theme as a nice surprise, hopefully, on the evening. Okay, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time now just looking at the categories. I know that you're really interested in what they are. You can find all this information on the website, of course. We've broken them down into 6 different themed areas, as you can see. So we've got Innovation and Technology Awards. No significant changes there. We had all those categories last year. Operational Effectiveness Awards. So I've already covered the new category there for peak demand. And we've slightly tweaked the fraud category. So that is now the Best Fight Against Fraud Initiative. So it's not necessarily a whole programme, but it could be a single fraud initiative that you've deployed. The team awards remain unchanged. The Best Contact Centre Support Team always proves really very popular. And what we tend to do when we get the entries in is that very often forms 2 subgroups within Contact Centre Support Team. So any team at all who are primarily focused on supporting the frontline contact centre team can take part in that category. The next theme is Customer Experience Awards, and I've already covered the new category there. Best Cross-Functional Customer Experience Initiative was a new category last year, which proved very popular, and that's just obviously about bringing different parts of the organisation together to make sure that they deliver a great customer experience. Employee Experience Awards, no changes there at all in terms of the categories. And then Contact Centre Awards, we've obviously got Best New Contact Centre, Best Outsourced Contact Centre. Contact Centre of the Year, we will split up into large, medium and small. Don't worry about which of those that you fall into. When you complete the nomination form, just put the number of seats that you've got in your contact centre and we'll divvy them up when they come in terms of the right category. And then Best Multilingual Contact Centre and Best Pan-European. For the Best Pan-European, it is more than one contact centre across 2 different countries, naturally across Europe. I'm just going to pause now and say, which might seem really obvious, your contact centre has to be based in Europe. We get lots of queries every year about organisations where their contact centre physical location is outside of Europe. It does not qualify. The contact centre has to be based in Europe. So if it's anywhere outside of that, then sorry, these awards aren't for you. Okay, I'm just going to take a small poll now before I hand you over to Jackie to talk through the awards process. But we're interested in which categories you're looking at. I know I briefly talked through those, but if you can just vote now on your voting buttons, you can click more than one, but any of those categories that you're interested in, it just gives us a really good flavour. We're just being nosy, to be honest. We want to know what it is that you're looking at, and I suppose interested to know if the new categories are of interest. So if you can just click any of the categories that you're interested in there, that would be great. You can go on the website, obviously, at your leisure. If you click under any of these, it will give you a full criteria, a full description, just to make sure that you're entering the right category. And if at any time you're not sure and you just want a bit of advice, then just drop us an email and we'll jump on the phone to you and we'll talk through the category and we'll make sure that you're comfortable that you're entering the right category. You can put the same nomination forward for more than one category. That very often happens where somebody will fill in the nomination form and actually go, well, I think this might qualify for 2 different categories. That's absolutely fine, and frankly, it saves you a lot of work when you can do that. Okay, so I think we've probably got everybody's feedback there. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly share the results. So, okay, so it looks like a really good spread across all of those categories. And yeah, the usual ones are very popular: best outsourcing partnership, quality manager support team, so quality team, support team, contact centre of the year, outsourced contact centre, yeah, all really popular. We do often get people going for best contact centre and great place to work. That's one to look at if you're looking to double up. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much for that. That was really helpful for us. Okay, so I'm going to hand you over now to Jackie Pringle, and Jackie's going to just talk you through the process for entering the awards. Okay, over to you, Jackie.
Thank you. So all the entries are done online, and you get to it through the ECCCSA website. It's simple and it's easy, and as it says, you can revisit your nomination as many times as you like, right up until the deadline. But please note that deadline, because we don't extend it, so it does need to be with us by midnight on the 12th of July. The early bird is obviously a great saving, so if you put your submissions in by the 14th of June and you've paid for them, then instead of the normal £295 per nomination, it's just going to be £500 for 3, and then £100 for everyone after that. So that is a great saving. So registration is really easy. That's the first thing that you're going to do. So you're going to visit the enter page of the website and register your interest, and then you're going to get a verification email from us. This is what that screen looks like when you come to register. So you'll see there down the middle where you register, and once you're registered, then every time you come back to that screen, you'll just log on through that box on the right hand side. So then this is what it will look like for you. This will kind of be the start of your dashboard. So it gives you some key information, some entry rules and guidelines, and then you'll see that this is where you will start your entries, and you'll see the tab there that's highlighted where you do that. So once logged into the site, you start your entry by selecting a category. and filling in the fields that are provided, and then you submit your entry to the shopping cart. And you can start as many entries as you like and submit them. So let's look what that screen looks like. So you will see that there are 5 tabs across the top there. And the first one that you'll see highlighted in gold is the details tab. So you can see there's a drop down arrow there under category. So you really can't go wrong. When you press that category drop down, it comes up with all the categories and you pick the one that you are entering there. Entry name is just, we want you to give your entry a name so that you know which one it relates to. So use something that you understand internally. So if you're doing multiple entries, you'll know which one it is. The next screen that you will come to, once you've picked the category, a description then comes up. So you'll see on the right hand side there that I've picked Team Awards and I've picked Best Quality Management Team. And you will see that that category description comes up on the right hand side to help you. When you get to the end of each page, press Save and Next, which is seen here as the navy button. Remember, you can go back and edit your entry as many times as you like up till the deadline, so please don't be afraid of pressing any of these buttons. It will then take you to the Contact Information tab, the second tab along the top, so that's now highlighted in gold. Make sure the info in these boxes is really accurate, because this is what we are going to use right up to the award being announced on stage. It's what we're going to use to engrave the trophies, so please don't get this wrong. So the name of your organisation, the actual brand name, how it's spelled, etc. And the town, because that's really useful, because if we are going to come and visit you for judging, then we need to know where we're coming. This next tab here, highlighted in gold at the top there again, the nomination questions tab. This is the main body of the entry, and the questions here are going to vary depending on the category that you are entering. You can add supporting information, so that's the tab next to it. And my advice would be not to overload the judges. Just provide relevant results, surveys, even videos if you like. And if you think a structure chart is useful, then let us have that too. The last tab there that's called Team, you can also add people's names to that so that you can include them on the nomination. So if it's been a project or initiative, you know, thus far we've only got sort of the nominator's name. So you might want to include names of the other people or the other departments that were involved in there. That's optional. This is the rest of the questions that you'll see on that nomination question tab. And when you've answered all of them, press Save and Next. You can press Submit at any point as long as all the mandatory details are filled in. And again, I'll stress, don't be afraid to press any of the buttons. Don't even be afraid of pressing Submit Entry. You can edit it right up to the deadline. And of course, to take advantage of the early bird offer, if you want to submit your 3 entries, you can do that with minimum details. So lots of to be confirmed, crosses, stars, whatever you want to do, submit, pay for them, and then go back and complete them later. So when you have got them in your shopping cart and you come in to pay, I will just stress that you don't get the early bird unless you have paid by the 14th of June. So I recommend that you pay as early as you can, because some companies have got payment processes that delay things, and we wouldn't want you to miss the deadline. So the 2 different ways of paying, you'll see there at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. So this is what the payment screen looks like. So you can pay by PayPal there and then, or you can tick the invoice box. And if you tick the invoice box, we will send you an invoice, and then on there have all the details of how you can pay us either by backs or Swift or credit card. Okay. From that point on, like I said, you can continue to add and edit your entries right up until that submission deadline. And you can print your drafts as PDFs to share them internally for feedback. So it really is a very user-friendly system. I will just stress the one that we have at midnight on deadline day, that's the one that we will use to judge your entry. Okay. So I'm going to hand you back to Ann-Marie now to go through her advice as the chair of judges to help you with those nominations.
Okay, thanks very much, Jackie. So before I start, I will say that if you go onto the website, there is going to be a toolkit available. Toolkit's on there already. Lots of you have downloaded it. There's loads and loads of information in there. So just download that, take it home, read it, share it amongst your team members. Follow it. There's some really, really good advice in there. It's a really comprehensive kit. So I've taken just the headlines out of that, really, for the purposes of this webinar. So judges are looking for a high level overview of your achievements. Please be clear and concise and don't waffle on it. You're looking to tell your story so that the judges, when they pick it up, it's interesting, it's logical, and they can very clearly see what it is that you've achieved. You'd be surprised how many nominations we get that just don't include any metrics at all. So, you really want to be drawing out. So what is it that's so good? And there's nothing quite like metrics to prove that. So, we've taken X to Y percentage. We've improved, from one figure to another. Numbers speak louder than words very often. We get lots of internal jargon. It just switches the judges off. If they don't understand your nomination, it gets all a bit difficult to read. By the time they got to the end of it, they're perhaps not feeling so positive about the nomination. So, pass it to somebody who's an outsider, perhaps get them to read it and say, does this still make sense? Look for the things that make you stand out from the crowd. So what are the achievements that are industry leading? Why is this so good? Why does this stand out? What makes it different? And of course, pull out some relevant examples as you go that, again, the judges can easily understand. As I say, all that advice is in the toolkit and lots more. I've just pulled out the main key points, really. Okay, so I just want to touch on the judging process. So there's two stages to the judging process. The first one is obviously the online nomination form. As Jackie said, the deadline is the deadline. We've never moved the deadline. We know lots of other award programmes do. We won't. We don't think it's fair to people that hit the deadline to then go and extend it for everybody else. So lines open till midnight. Get your nomination in on time, and then those nominations are reviewed by our online panel of judges and shortlisted to a final 8. Then we'll carry out the face-to-face judging. Now that is either panel, which is carried out in the centre of London, or we will come and do a face-to-face visit to your contact centre. So the face-to-face visits, hey, we'd love to come out and see all your smiling faces, but it might take us a year to do that. So what we do is we select the categories which are contact centre of the year and great place to work. And we will come out and meet you, meet your people, meet your leaders, talk to your team leaders, etc. So that will be a personal visit. The panel judging, we've already set the weeks aside. So they are going to take place week commencing the 9th, the 16th and the 30th in September. If you know up front that some of those weeks are a problem, just let us know. We'll be very flexible in terms of scheduling you in should you reach the final. Okay, the awards evening. If you've been, I don't need to say much more. It's a fantastic evening of entertainment. It's highly professional. We're very proud of it. We've put a lot of time into getting it right. Tickets will go on sale for the event on the 9th of August. It includes drinks, a fantastic meal. The entertainment starts from the minute you walk in the door. until you leave. It's not a comedian or anything crash like that. There's a lot of really amazing entertainment throughout the evening. It will be hosted by Fiona Bruce. She's a very famous journalist in the UK and hosts a number of TV programmes. She's very professional, and she is very much the face of these awards on the awards evening, having hosted it for the last 4 years. We'll also have a celebrity guest, and we usually pick somebody that we would describe as a legend. They're not off celebrity TOWIE programmes or the like. They are real European, worldwide legends. And we've had people like Sir Steve Redgrave and Sir Ronald Fine, people that will really inspire you and your guests at the event. And as I think I said earlier, we had 1,200 people to the dinner last year, so it's a huge event. It's great to be there for networking and meeting up with industry colleagues. So if you want more help other than the toolkit and dialing into this webinar, there's lots of information on the website. We're constantly updating it with blogs and feedback from judges, etc. You can download the toolkit, follow us on various social media apps. Give us a call on the helpline number there. If you just leave a message, Jackie or one of the team will call you back. And if you want any advice on what categories to enter, I'll be very, very happy to have a call with any of you. Indeed, Jackie can talk you through the categories as well. You can drop us an email at info@exa.com, or indeed jackie@exa.com, and you can get hold of us on any of those numbers. Okay, so I think that's about everything. We've had a number of questions come through, and I know that we've picked them up, some of them up as we go, but I'll pick the rest of them up now. So who's the best person to speak to about the categories? Me or Jackie? That's absolutely fine. You can speak to either of us. Is the best customer service team also split by team size? Yes, it is. So last year we had large and small. If there are enough entries, we might do large, medium, and small. Somebody's asking for the email address for queries there, which I think I've already just provided. info@exa or Jackie@exa. If we submit 3, do we also need 4th and 5th? Yeah, I think we've answered that one in terms of it's an extra £100 per entry after the first 3. After the early bird ends, subsequently entries will cost the full price. So yes, it's £295 per entry after that. Okay, any more questions at all? I think I've picked up everything there. Okay, you can of course just drop us an email or give us a call. You'll get hold of us at any time. We're here to help. We've been running these awards for a long while now. We're really happy to jump on the phone and just chat through. Should I enter this category? Do we meet the criteria? Any questions that you've got at all? We're absolutely more than happy to help. Okay, so I'm going to bring that to a close. Apologies that we've run over by about 10 minutes. I think we were a bit optimistic there with our 20-minute guesstimate there. But hopefully that's given you a good overview. It was a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but we've tried to pull out the main elements, and hopefully that's filled you with some enthusiasm to start going to talk to your colleagues about some of the categories, discussing some of the achievements, some of the projects that you've delivered, or you might just be walking through your contact centre customer service team this afternoon going, gosh, we're good at what we do. Let's just give it a go. Let's make sure that we get some recognition for our teams here. So it just remains for me to say thank you very much for joining us. Have a fantastic weekend, and Jackie and I look forward to hearing from you over the next few weeks and months, and hopefully seeing you at that awards final in London in November. Thanks very much.